Start college as a student. Start growing as a leader. Start your career as an officer. Start strong. When you register to take Army ROTC course electives, you'll be on the path to leadership. You'll also learn lessons that go beyond the classroom. And as an Army ROTC cadet, you may be eligible for full tuition scholarship and a monthly allowance of up to $500. When you graduate and complete Army ROTC, you will leave ready to lead as an officer in the U.S. Army, Army Reserve, or Army National Guard. To find out more, visit your Army ROTC representative. Contact Army ROTC San Bernardino at 909-537-5533 or visit armyrotc.csusb.edu for more information. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong, paid for by the United States Army.
Welcome back to My Awesome Empire. As we close our program today, we meet 8-year-old Charity.
My name is Charity. My age is 8. I go to school at Kcaa Prep. I live in Moreno Valley. Well, when I get home, I usually like to listen to music. And then I usually like to, I don't really sew yet, but I usually like to draw, close my little book. I love fashion. I want to be a fashion designer when I grow up and have my own store with my friends. I will make like a summer dress, and my other dress I really like is like a basketball outfit that has number 1 through number 10, and so all kinds of girls who like basketball could wear these outfits. Some of my clothes have like different things. Some of them will have fur on the jacket, some of them will have straps like Coach is. My name is Charity Roy, and I'm going to be a great fashion designer.
Thanks, Charity. And thank you for joining us today for My Awesome Empire. Do you know someone extraordinary that we should feature on our program? How about a great elementary school with some amazing kids? Write to us, My Awesome Empire at csusb.edu. Thanks to student producer co-hosts Arnold Robles and Cesar Perez. To engineer Cesar Perez and Chief Production Engineer Arnold Robles. My Awesome Empire is a production of the College of Arts and Letters at California State University, San Bernardino, celebrating 50 amazing years transforming lives. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lacey Kendall. Have an awesome week.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF, Moreno Valley.
Ha, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. So just sit back and relax because the show's about to start. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey, everybody. This is AM 1050 KCAA Radio, the best radio station in the country. We're also on 106.5. I actually got a chance to test that FM dial out today, and that sounded crystal clear and hot like butter with Joe Britt with Gotcha Racing. So if you're afraid of AM and you watch us later, or if you're watching us online, turn on your FM and see what it's all about. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out, checking us out and listening today. Want to give everybody that listens and follows us on Facebook and all the cool positive vibes we've been getting. I want to thank everybody for giving us all the love. And also want to apologize to everybody. I missed my last show back on the 10th because I was celebrating my wonderful anniversary to my beautiful wife Amber, and we were relaxing and having a good time at Glen Ivy Hot Springs. So I'm sorry I was not thinking about you guys. I was relaxing. But want to start the show off today before we get with our awesome guest. Promise some people some shout outs on the radio today. You know, as we say, this is Let's Talk Community. It's all about the community. I wanted to give some shout outs to some people that are doing some awesome stuff coming up. And first one is the trunk or treat that they are doing in Riverside. It's with the Random Acts of Kindness. They're looking for vendors. And what they're looking for is they're looking for people to pay for a vendor spot to get access to all the kids and parents to come out. And the fee is $25 with and also 1,000 pieces of candy, because you don't get the kids out if you don't have the candy. You could have stickers and toys, but you ain't got the candy, they're not coming. So vendor setup is 3:30, and this is on the Friday before Halloween. This is October 30th. So if you've got kids and you're worried about, I still got to do stuff with my kids, don't worry about it. It's the day before, so you don't have to stress it. We will have that contact information and everything that you need on our Facebook page, Let's Talk Community. So, and then we went to my good buddy Butch Ariza with West Valley Water. He's if you've been following us with our Rialto Now blog, he's been going through the fire with his campaign to get to run for the water district. So we wanted to tell you that when you go out and vote, and if you're not voting, there's lots of stuff to vote for. Even though this is an off year, there's elections for councils in some cities, and there's water districts, and water districts are important. If you haven't paid attention to your water bill and all the other stuff going on with water nowadays, water's important. So we wanted to tell you on November 3rd, if you're a West Valley Water ratepayer, give my buddy Butch Ariza a little love and mark him down as your choice. I think you get 2. And then I want to invite everybody out to drug-free Rancho Cucamonga. We're going to be having a Red Ribbon Parent Information Meeting. It's going to be at the Central Park there in the city of Rancho Cucamonga. We're going to be teaching parents how to talk to their kids. Next week is Red Ribbon Week, and we're going to be teaching you how to talk to your kids and keep the conversation going as Red Ribbon Week is being talked to about your kids, so that you can keep that conversation going. You can have some awesome interaction and keep your kids away from drugs and bad influences. And then our friends Dino, we had in about 2 or 3 weeks ago, him and his family, RC Haunt kicked off yesterday and is in full effect over there at the Bass Pro Shops in Rancho Cucamonga. So you got to head out to RC Hunt over at the South parking lot and the Bass Pro Shops and get your scare on for $8. They will scare the living pants off you, and if you spend $12 or more inside Bass Pro Shops, you get a discount. So cool. And then we wanted to give a shout out to our online partners, ieshineon.com, the Inland Empire Good Time Guide, a lifestyle website sharing the best events. And they got a lot of good stuff going on for Halloween. They got guides where they give the hottest Halloween stuff, so we want to check them out. And I can't forget my buddy Joel Green and Inland Empire Explorer, the #1 place to find out what there is to do and see right here in the IE. You can find them at inlandempireexplorer.com. And then finally, we got to give a shout out to Bernice Rivera. She just dropped her new EP and her new music video called Falling Fast. You got to check out Bernice's video. It's really cool, really sweet. Filmed out in Laguna with actual people from the IE, so people in the IE were in that. So go ahead and check out her video and see if you made it on there or if you know somebody who was on there. So if you want any links to any of this stuff, go to Let's Talk Community and we will get you hooked up with that. So today we're continuing our series on hot shots. We had Councilman Sean O'Connell on about a month ago talking about what he does out in the community and why he does it. And we have an awesome opportunity. These shows have been coveted and become kind of everybody wants them. And we had an opportunity finally to make our schedules meet with Mr. Tejan. So I have introduced Michael Tejan from the city of Fontana. How you doing, Michael?
Doing great.
So I just want to thank you for coming on. Like we were talking about earlier, and we've been talking through Facebook. Hot Shots is people in the community, not just elected officials, but business leaders and people who work nonprofits that are doing good things for the community and not really focusing on what's in it for them. And as we on the radio have always talked about, a lot of times our elected officials seem to have more in it for them than for us. So when I sat here and been watching, a powerful person in Fontana doing good things for the community, I wanted to have him on and kind of give him an opportunity to explain to you kind of some of the stuff he does. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I learned really earlier that you come from a really interesting place. So why don't you tell us where you're from and how you made it to the IE?
Great. My name is Michael Tejan. I was born and raised in Lebanon and had a chance to come here to finish my master's degree and work in the U.S. and Been married, been in Fontana since 97, 98, and married, have 3 boys, ages 10, 7, and almost 7 and 5, and my wonderful wife and friend Rima is my wife, and so we've been blessed to be in Fontana and call Fontana home for the last almost 15 plus years, and enjoyed the life we have in Fontana. Professionally, I work in the engineering industry. I'm a consultant managing construction projects for government agencies. And my wife and I, we have a small, we used to own our business, and then we got acquired. And we own a small development company. We do some development throughout the Inland Empire.
Cool. And development's a hot thing right now. Different cities, Rialto, Fontana, Redlands, Rancho's pretty much developed themselves. I don't know how much more room they have to do development, but development's a hot thing right now. And so I've actually had a chance to talk to some developers over the last couple months, and that's kind of a cutthroat area sometimes.
We are in the market of very small, tiny projects, 1 to 3 acres.
Okay.
And most of our properties, since I became elected, we focus heavily on the Kcaa area. So we have a lot of projects. We have properties we've acquired there. We're trying to develop some of them far away from this region.
There's a lot to do out in Kcaa too. That music fest has made that a pretty desirable area. So one of the keystone things that got me wanting to have you on this show was Sandbag. Now, I've talked about Sandbag on the radio show before, and we're talking about toll lanes on the 10 freeway, and you've been pretty much one of the lone wolves on not being a fan of toll lanes on Sandbag. Is that correct?
Yes, I have been since I joined Sandbag as a board member, but I've always monitored Sandbag, being consultant working for since 97, 98, so I've attended a lot of their board meetings. Sandbag is a great regional organization that has Measure I money that we entrust them with them to spend them on behalf of us as taxpayers, and they've done a great job for us in this region in transportation and mobility. And so the issue of the express lanes, I would call it more than the toll lanes, because toll lanes are different, but express lanes, managed lanes is what the concept we're talking about, and I think that I've been concerned with that concept. I have not hidden my concerns. We have enough votes on the board to keep moving it forward, but I've learned something in my life, in my career. I'm okay to be the only guy standing and saying, I'm not ashamed of it, and I will not be changing my position till my concerns that impact my community. Fontana is a unique community in the sense that we're the only ones impacted by the 10 and by the 15,
mm-hmm.
and that's the concerns.
Yeah, you guys do hold that special area of you're impacted by 2 projects, and the 15 project we're getting ready to, as a CAG member, we're getting ready to start having those discussions on what to do on the 15 field. But yeah, you guys are right. You're put in a precarious position because you're affected by both projects, and as we were talking about a little earlier, we don't really think that a lot of the communities going to be affected really have the income to justify having to pay to be able to move on the freeway.
I mean, when you look at the income levels in Fontana, when you look at our school districts in Fontana or Rialto or Carlton, 80%, if not 85, 90% are on lunch program.
Yeah, free and reduced lunch, yeah.
And so these individuals will not be able to afford what we talk about right now being the $7 each way for 33 miles, which in my opinion is questionable. And the history will be able to prove that if it's right or wrong. And hopefully maybe 10 years from now when we're not around, I don't know what's going to happen with that number.
Yeah.
So the challenge is that when you look at our community, I personally, me and my wife, all my friends, all my colleagues in the Sandbag, they know that I can afford it. But it's not about me. It's not about what can I afford and what can I do. It's about what my community can afford. The blue-collar people who are working at $15, $20 an hour, can they afford to pay that $1, that fee to go and drive the freeway?
And that's one of the biggest reasons why we're calling you a hot shot, because yes, you can afford it, but it's not about you. It's about the people that you represent and the city as a whole. And so we like that. That's really cool. And so moving on, going back to what you're talking about with your background in development, as we were sharing earlier, City of Rialto just broke ground on their Super Walmart project on the corner of San Bernardino Avenue and Riverside. And they're saying about this time next year, we should be completed and looking at ribbon cuttings and stuff like that. And Fontana has some similar projects on tap or on board. And then you guys just had a planning meeting this morning at the senior center. So like what's going on in Fontana as far as development and moving forward? And
Fontana is doing great. We see a lot of activity and development of interest coming in. We just did the groundbreaking for Kcaa, our new dealership, joining our auto mall, which is doing wonderful, and we appreciate all the hard work of our dealers from Rotolo Chevrolet to Nissan to Rock Honda, and we're trying to expand that Miracle Mile we call on the 210 between Sierra and Citrus. There's a lot of housing development coming in, a lot of interest throughout a lot of business moving into Fontana. We just got Starbucks opened again next to Costco area up in the 210 and Sierra. So we have a lot of excitement. I mean, Super Walmart, you spoke about that in Rialto. They have an interest of opening 2 in Fontana, one on the 210 in Sierra and one on the 10 in Sierra, both of them south of the 210 and south of the 10. My understanding the application just came in with the fee, and that's a process we have to go through. We had some concepts of promenade before on 210 and Sierra or South Highland Sierra, and so we're going to look at that until we have a comprehensive package, and we cannot analyze it right now until we get the complete application. But there's a lot of activity we're seeing. The one thing which in Fontana we're trying to work on is to make sure we are patient and to not quickly rush into development projects. We just opened yesterday the I-15 Duncan interchange.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. That was really cool.
That's going to be great opportunity for us for economic packages and economic engine for the north end of town. We own the Ventana property, 85 acres. We're looking at that in the near future. Developers hopeful to start moving projects around there. 10, we've improved Citrus and Cherry. That brought a lot of activity. The big thing for us, like all the region, is Ontario Airport.
Yes.
Because we're very close to Ontario, so we feel the spillover of everything is going to happen in Ontario is going to come to Fontana. So that's where the challenge is. How can you be patient to balance that planning and future look and not rush into what the market is demanding today, but see what the market, what Fontana people, what Fontana's demand from us as elected officials.
And that's kind of what you guys did this morning. You were meeting with stakeholders, the community and stuff, and going over kind of what they were looking for the city moving forward.
Yeah,
right?
That's one of our general plan update we're doing. We selected a consultant earlier this year, and part of the plan with the general plan update, we have a Kcaa group that's working on that. And today we had the citywide visioning forum where we asked community members, all of them, whoever can come in between 9 and 12 and be part of the process to ask the question, what do you want to see? How are you going to shape Fontana for the coming 20 years? And to make sure we get all the input. I've always said that if you want to make a decision, be part of it. Mm-hmm. Don't come back to me 3 years from today and say, oh, we should not have done that.
Yeah.
That's the easy answer.
Where were you in the beginning, right?
Exactly. And that's kind of the same thing is that's the sensitive if it's Sandbag, if it's the Super Walmart, if it's the Westgate, if it's the dealerships, if it's the economic development, we're looking at the restaurants and things like that. We need to plan right and be patient and make sure that everybody gets and be involved. Don't come and complain to me 3 years from now and say, why did we do that?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, where have you been?
Yeah, we say the same thing when people were talking about voting. They say, I've never voted. I was like, well, then stop complaining. I don't want to hear it. Because if you haven't put your pen down and made a decision, then if you've made your voice heard, then I'll listen to your complaints. But if you're not even gonna take the time to help us make a decision, then yeah. So yeah. So you brought up Westgate, and that's actually an interesting thing because of all of our favorite activists in the city of Fontana. Trustee Capps put out a really interesting video on YouTube about the planning commission meeting. What's your opinion on, like, what do you think about the Westgate project? Like, whatever you can speak to.
Okay, I mean, Westgate is like any other development. I mean, they own that property there. Not Westgate, the developer who owns that property, Mr. Z, who's in China. Mm-hmm. He has a specific plan for this property. And as a councilman, I cannot assess a project till I see what has been proposed to me. And that's the same thing with the planning commission. They've got the package, they've analyzed it, they asked a question, they researched it, they analyzed the package, and then they made the decision, which we respect their decision, and they need to do their best job independently of us as a council. And so we as a council will do, and the mayor will do the same thing. There's two challenges that I see personally. One is this property is owned by an individual, Mr. Z, which we respect, who's far away from us in this region. He's not in a rush to sell the property. He's not in a rush to develop the property. He can sit on the property for many, many years. So that's one challenge, one risk we have. The second thing is, if we're going to have a change of specific plan, then we as a community need to have our input in that. And the question is, what do you want to see in there?
Yeah.
And the thing is that when you ask 10 people, they're going to have different views. Always the activists are the one out there trying to press their views, like always.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a councilman, I need to make sure I listen to my activists, listen to the ones who are home, listen to the ones I see at the Stater Brothers shop, and I see them in the coffee shops, I see them in the schools. But there's a lot of valid comments that people brought up about larger lot size, about making sure we have executive housing, but at the same time, we want to have the corporate corridor. We want to have the office buildings and the commercial and open space in the parks. And the schools, make sure we have enough schools to match the development.
Enough schools, right?
So, and make sure the traffic is working well. And when we had a workshop, we talked to them in the workshop at the city council. I brought the issue of that we need to develop 210 Cherry from the 210 to baseline. That has to be a requirement, as well as we need to have some kind of connectivity with a bridge over Cherry to make sure we have enough connectivity. So all these things have to come part of the planning process and make sure we get everybody to make it a win-win. That's my thing, is to find the ways to get people together. And if I can't, I'm okay. I'm okay to be on the minority end. But I think the people in Fontana has valid points and valid arguments regarding the Westgate.
I think, and on top of, I correlate when I was listening to that project and listening to the details, I correlated a lot to what it sounds like what a East Highlands Ranch kind of a version, because they talk about all these pools, all these amenities, and the kind of mixture of putting retail and trying to put like your whole business opportunities within the community kind of things. You don't have to go too far. And I worked as a public safety officer for East Highlands Ranch, and I saw a lot of problems with having all of those additional things mixed in. So I was like, I don't know. And I'm a big lot size person myself. Like I live in a house that was built, I think, in the late 70s, early 80s. 1,300 square foot house, nice lot, and that's not enough for me. I want a bigger one, so I'm moving. I have my eyes set on like Kcaa and stuff because I want elbow room. I want.
If we build them in Fontana, come to Fontana.
If they build them in Fontana, I know they're looking kind of small, but one thing on Fontana is we were sharing earlier is I did a lot of browbeating of our council members and employees in the city of Rialto, because I told them, I was like, there's nothing for us to do out here. I don't shop here. I don't spend my money here. And I tell them, you know where I take majority of my consumer dollars? To Fontana. They offer the shopping that I want. They offer the restaurants that I want. And they offer the safety. And that's one of the things that I think me and Tressie don't entirely see eye to eye on, is I really appreciate that in the areas where you have the largest amounts of people coming and you're trying to draw people, I feel more safe there than I would in my own city. Sure as heck feels safer there than I would in San Bernardino. But I like that. And it's really, especially with someone with young kids, or if I want to send my wife out to Target, I want to know there's a 90% chance she's going to be okay. I mean, nothing's perfect. And, there's crime everywhere, but... See,
and in Fontana, we are proud of our police department. We invest a lot of our resources and budget into public safety, our police and fire. And I served with my colleague John Roberts on the strategic plan for the fire department, for the fire plan. And we looked at how we can move fire stations around to make sure the response time. We looked at the coverage, and so that's why we're having the new station being built on Foothill next to Heritage. We had to move that location, and we continue to invest in our police. I mean, we have our helicopter program, which should be focused on Fontana, as well as we have. But our police department does a great job. I mean, our police officers. I mean, we appreciate all the hard work that they do, and it shows in the community. Now, nothing is perfect.
Yeah.
They always be. We get the complaints. We're getting break-ins here, and we get other issues in the community. But that's part of the growth of a community. When you're growing as a community, you're gonna have challenges. You're gonna have tracks sometimes. If you look at the activity in Victoria Gardens in the parking lots.
Yeah.
They have huge activity,
Yes.
bad activity that happens there.
Yes.
So people say, bring Victoria Garden here. Say, okay, but you're going to bring the bad element too.
Yep.
Always when you have entertainment and destination points, you're going to have that kind of issue. But thank you for shopping in Fontana. We appreciate that. Our people will say they shop in Rancho. So it's kind of like everybody's going east. But our job is to find things in Fontana where people can stay in Fontana, spend their dollars. I personally don't go to Victoria Gardens on the weekend because I have to wait an hour and a half to get into a restaurant.
That's right.
And I don't want to do that. And they get great restaurants. But we want to have the same things in Fontana so people can wait 20 minutes and go in a restaurant now.
The nice part about Rancho is I believe they have just about developed everything. So I think Fontana, Redlands, some of Riverside's even running out of space, but those are all areas that have become, go-to spots for restaurants, especially like Slater's 50/50, Farrell's. They've really started to come into and make an impression in the come after the Inland Empire dollars, and they want our business, and I see a lot more of that. So that's really cool. And you guys, if you guys had a Red Robin, you guys would think we'd get all our money because my kids love there. You know
what? We want to have everything. I mean, I think I sat with staff earlier about a year ago, and we gave them the list, and they gave me a list of restaurants we want to see in Fontana. Me and the mayor, we serve on the ad hoc committee for economic development. And one of the things I did not check on that list was the Ruth Chris. I said, I'm okay. Oh. If you don't get that, I'm okay with that. But everything else on the list, I want it. So I had to be fair to staff. But the challenge in development, especially with the economy up and down, is you have to wait for the right moment, and you don't want to rush into it.
Yeah.
If you rush into it, you may get a bad development, and if it goes bad. And one thing, my focus in Fontana, to bring these kind of restaurants that you want to see or the community wants to see, we need to have good income levels. And for me, my focus has been educational facilities and medical institutions. So having education, having medical institutions will help our community because you're going to attract. When I talk to the Kaiser's Hospital, I talk to major employees for the Chamber of Commerce, they'll come and say, don't talk about doctors. Doctors make good money. But the second, third, fourth people working with the doctors, they're all making 150, six figures. They all live in big lots. Yeah. They want to have large houses. Yeah. They want to have executive houses. Where can they live in Fontana?
They can't.
We don't have the answer.
Yeah.
And that's what's driving these discussions in Fontana because they say, where do we live? We live in Corona. We live in Orange. We live in Rancho. We live in Claremont. We live in others. We want to live in Fontana so they can have a shorter drive.
Yeah.
And so we need to listen as a community, and that's why it's what's best for the community, not best for some special interest and what I call them hit-and-run developers.
Yes. Yes. And piggybacking off of some of that, what is your take on because I know that some of the cities, and Rialto were one of them, we're putting in a lot of industrial, a lot of warehouses and stuff, and those create jobs, but they create those, you can survive kind of jobs, but you're not really going to make a whole bunch of money, and it's not, I don't know, in my opinion, unless you're looking for basic career skills training, you're not really it's not going to do anything to elevate you up the corporate ladder kind of thing. So like when it comes to what do you think about the massive expansion of warehouses?
In Fontana, we have the SWIP plan in the south end of town, which is going to be enough for that region, in my opinion. In the north end of town, we've put the ones along the Sierra, east of Sierra, between Sierra
Lakes Parkway. Those new ones that have gone up,
and really the reason for that, some people wanted to put housing. Some elected officials in Fontana want to put housing, 1,800 square foot lots, and we said no. We have a dump there. I don't care what you call it.
Right.
Landfill, right. I call it a dump. So I mean, we had to have something to have a buffer between the dump and our community, and so when you drive on Sierra. And so we couldn't put housing there. That was the best alternative for us to separate that from the dump.
And don't houses cost you more money? They don't make money. They cost the city money, right?
Of course, and that's the whole thing is me being with my business background, I understand the level of income and expenses because housing, you don't want people to only come and sleep there because then you need more police and fire and maintenance for the streets. You want to have a good balance between housing, logistics, and commercial to make sure you have enough income to do that. That's why communities that survive, they have people come spend money in their community and they sleep somewhere else. And we want to have that balance. And I think industrial-wise, I mean, I can see more major projects coming in. Could be a project here, project there. Recently, someone approached the city in a workshop to do another industrial building across from the ones on Sierra and Summit, and we told them no. I mean, people are trying. The question is, how can elected officials like me and my colleagues in the council stand their ground and say no? I mean, would there be a need for a development here or there? Yes, maybe. But I don't foresee a massive in Fontana.
Yeah, me and my wife can actually attest to that whole dump thing, because we were actually driving down Sierra one day and the wind was blowing in that direction. I'm like, oh.
You saw all the bags.
I couldn't. It's just the smell. I was like, I couldn't live here. No, I couldn't live this close to this landfill dump, whatever you call it. So yeah, I can understand that. So excuse me. So last question before we wrap up here is, like I said, I spend a lot of money in Fontana. And
keep spending it. We love it.
One of my favorite places to eat, not my wife so much anymore, and it's irritating because it's hard to get there, is Tio's up there on Sierra Lakes Parkway. I like that. I fell in love with Tio's over in Rancho when they moved to Fontana. I thought that was cool. What are your top go-to places to eat in the city of Fontana?
Tio's, and have you tried the new Tio's Grill?
Their cantina thing?
Yeah.
I haven't got a chance to
You should try it. It's a great place to be there. We like omakase sushi. My wife, my kids, and I will love sushi. And we have Suma Sushi up on Summit, as well as, my kids love fast food too sometimes, so we enjoy that. Mimi's Cafe is my morning spot. I want to have my meetings and my city manager meeting I have breakfast with them every Tuesday morning at 7:30, so you can see me there every Tuesday morning almost. So there's great places. We still need a lot of more places. A lot of ethnic places in Fontana if you go downtown, and other places. Tacos place, Joe's Taco on Footland Sierra is a great place. One of the icons there. That there's a lot of great places in Fontana to eat.
Have you tried that new place that took over for Flip It Cafe?
Not yet. Haven't got there.
I haven't tried either. I'm interested. So we're just about done here. We got 1 minute. How can people get a hold of you if they live in the city of Fontana, listen to the station, and they want to?
You know what? My phone number, my cell phone number is on my business card. It's 909-262-4770. And you can reach me by email, mtahan@fontana.org. It's on the city website. I'm always available, accessible. You can reach me anytime you want. I'm here just to serve, and that's what our job as elected is, to serve our community.
Cool. Well, thank you, Michael, for coming on today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Everybody have a good day. There's lots going on in the IE, so get out, have some fun, and let's keep it up with the community. All right, guys. Bye.
This is 1050 AM, KCAA Loma Linda, and 106.5 FM, Yucaipa.
Consider this your invitation to sell. At buysellmakeoffer.com, you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Sound incredible? It is, and it's true. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new exciting